How can spiritual show and tell supersize your business? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about this today. We're focusing on spiritual health and well-being, that area of the 9-part life framework that I share every day in some way, shape, or form. And today's topic with respect to spirituality is show and tell. Remember when you were in school, grade school probably, or kindergarten, and you went back to school after a summer off and everybody had to share what they did for their summer vacation or the highlights of that? That's a more advanced version of show and tell, but it is sharing what excited you, what you were curious about, what you did that was positive to you and help you to become a better version of yourself, right, as a little kid. But show and tell in kindergarten or preschool, in my granddaughter's case, involved taking an item usually related to a topic that meant something or means something to them. Now, it's interesting, what they pick isn't necessarily what we would pick as an adult, but it is something that excites them, they love, or they care about, and is important to them. And that's the importance of it, is letting other kids get to know one another by sharing what's important to them. We need to do that as adults, too. So how do we do that, and why do we do that in our business, and why do we care? Well, number one, if we consider that we are all spiritual beings and not just physical beings or little robots that are there to do the work as part of our business, and that we are all a living, breathing entity in our businesses as well, it helps us get to know one another better. It helps us to demonstrate what's important to us. It helps us to and we can demonstrate this in a lot of ways. Set the example for the rest of the people in our organization. Just like with children, the people in our organization will only do what they see us doing. We can tell them to do something till we're blue in the face, but if we're not demonstrating that and doing that too, they're not going to do it. It's just like with kids. Anybody ever had teenagers, raised teenagers? Guess what? They will always do what they saw you do growing up and think that that's okay for them, whether you think it's okay for them or not, because people need to be consistent and share that and treat other people the way they want to be treated by setting the example. We set the example in a lot of different ways, by walking, especially in work, by leaders, not only just talking and telling people what to do, but by demonstrating it, walking the talk, not just talking and expecting people to do what you say. That is not leadership, by the way. Setting the example, being a good example of what you want to see in your organization is the fastest, easiest way to get that reflected in your organization. I was reading a post yesterday and watching a video about a new community that I'm a part of, the school community, and how the person was sharing their 8 biggest mistakes, which I love. I love when people share their mistakes, because guess what? One of the fastest ways to grow and supersize your business is by learning, not only from your own mistakes, but that's the most expensive way to learn, learning from other people's mistakes, and don't make those same mistakes. If they're out there telling you, these are the mistakes I made, listen to that. That is pure gold and can save you literally tons of time, decades of time, actually, and tons of money and other resources, right? Again, the do as I do, not as I say, it doesn't work anywhere on the planet. You know, look, it doesn't even work in politics. Do it together. One of the fastest ways and why on-the-job training is so successful and so powerful, and I've noticed a shift since technology has taken over in people's level of confidence, competence, when it comes to especially onboarding in new jobs and new roles and coming into a new organization. It used to be you followed somebody around for a day or a week or however long it took, and you shadowed them to get to know the culture, to be introduced to people in the organization, to find out a little bit about the different people that you're going to be working with. And we had expectation sharings. We still do in my companies. One-on-one expectation sharings with the person and the team that you're going to work with and direct report to. Why? Because that is showing people and telling people and hooking them up for success. Nowadays, people just go in, they watch a day or maybe a week worth of videos on different topics about the organization, which are usually marketing type or formal human resource type presentations that mostly people fall asleep in, and they're not effective, and people are hitting the floor or hitting the ground, and we expect them to be running, and it's like after all that orientation and training, most of them are still like a deer in the headlights because they haven't gotten what they really need to become a part of the organization. Okay, I'm pontificating. But again, people will do what we do, so make sure you're doing and demonstrating what you want the behavior to be like in your organization, especially from a emotional, spiritual, decision-making, core values, etc., things that match and line up with in your organization. The other thing that I wanted to mention in this area is one of the best ways to teach anything, share anything, get people excited about anything is to demonstrate it. Do a demonstration. If we're not finding a way to demonstrate the value that we add to our customers, we're missing the boat. We're missing a huge opportunity. Find a way to demo how your product or service works, and then capture that via video, because that is a really quick and easy and effective way to share it and share that message and reach a lot of people that can use the solution that you offer to people. All right, so what are we doing today? We are going to practice what we're talking about. We are going to show and tell at least one person something today and see the impact that that has versus the way we might do things already or right now. We're also going to take a little self-evaluation and ask ourselves, am I showing and telling, demonstrating, am I being and setting the example, or are there areas I might need to improve on? For example, showing up to meetings on time or other things like that. There's a lot of leaders that don't show up to meetings on time because they're too busy, meaning that they're not making it a priority. If you're demonstrating that you're not making showing up on time a priority, watch how quickly other people adopt that philosophy and show up whenever they darn well feel like it at meetings. Ever had that happen to you? Not me, but that's because I knew better. All right. From past experience, right? You make the mistake once, then you learn from it. Then your new mode of operation is to demonstrate what you want to see in the world. Be the light you want to see in the world. All right. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.